Okay, the next two problems on our list for Chapter 3 is E3.4 and E3.5. E3.4 deals with identifying accrual basis revenues, and E3.5 deals with identifying accrual basis expenses. Remember, expenses are when was it incurred. When you're dealing with accrual basis accounting, when was the expense incurred? When were you provided services? When were you delivered a product? With revenue, it's when did you earn the revenue? When did you deliver the product? And when did you provide the services? Things like that is what you want to take into consideration. So let's go through each one of these and write whether or not we had an expense or revenue. First with the revenues. The company issued $26 million in new common stock. Did we have revenue? Answer is no. Why? Because we issued common stock. Common stock is not revenue. Common stock is C/S. That'll be my abbreviation for common stock. And common stock is a sub-account under contributed capital. So, no, we issued stock, so that is not revenue. Next one, take into consideration. We have Cal State University received $20 million cash for 80,000 5-game season football tickets. None of the games have yet been played. Answer, do we have revenue? No. Why? We have not yet provided the service. What is the service? To deliver the football game, or the product is to deliver the football game, right? So they've not yet played any of the games. Therefore, we do not have revenue. We have not yet earned the revenue. Next, it says that we've now played one of the football games. Okay, since we played one of the football games, yes, we've earned revenue, but have we earned the, have we earned the entire $20 million? No, we have not earned the entire $20 million. We earned only a portion of it, so we take the $20 million divided by how many games we have, right, which is 5 games, which means we've earned $4 million. So, put 4 mil right there. Okay, next. Hall Construction Company signed a contract with a customer for construction of a new $500,000 warehouse. At the signing, Hall received a check of $50,000 as a deposit to be applied against amounts earned during the first phase of construction. Answer from Hall's standpoint. Do we have revenue in this instance? Your answer is no. Why is it no? Well, from Hall's standpoint, we received a deposit. If you're Hall, you've received a deposit, but you've not yet begun the first phase of construction. Therefore, you have not yet earned the revenue. You have unearned revenue, or you have a deposit. So no, we've only received a deposit. We have not yet actually earned the revenue. Next. A popular snowboarding magazine company received a total of $1,800. Today, from subscribers, the subscriptions begin in the next fiscal year. Answer from the standpoint of the company. Answer same, no. Why? Because we have not yet begun the service. The service starts in the next fiscal year. So we have unearned revenue here. Remember, unearned revenue is a what? A liability. All right. Last one, F for E3.4. It says T-Mobile sold a $100 cell phone plan for service in September to a customer who charged the sale on his credit card. Answer from the standpoint of T-Mobile. Now, one thing I want you to realize is, does a credit card matter? Does the fact that this company, or I'm sorry, this customer paid with a credit card actually affect our answer? The answer is no. Cash to us is cash, whether it comes from a credit card or whether it comes from actual physical money. We just settle with the credit card company as opposed to settling with the customer, okay? So that kind of is set aside. But for E3.4, we were looking at the month of September. So that's really the question. It says that we're looking at September 2013, and it says in this description for F that we sold service for September. So since we sold service for September, yes, we have revenue because we provided the service, right, for September. We're looking at September 2013. And we get the full amount at $100. Let's go on to E3.5 because it's a similar type problem. E3.5 is looking for accrual basis expenses. A A says that Dell paid its computer service technicians $90,000 in salary for work done in January 2013. Answer from Dell's standpoint. In this instance, we are considering the month of January 2013, okay? January 2013 versus September 2013, okay? So, if our employees worked during the month of January, did we incur an expense? And the answer is yes, they provided us a service. So yes, and we have the full amount here at $90,000. That's how much we were supposed to pay our employees. All right, the next one states that at the beginning of January, Turner Construction Company paid $3,000 in rent for February through April 2013. Okay, again, think about the month because that's the important consideration here. The month that we're looking at is January. We paid, or Turner Construction Company paid for February through April. So have we yet been provided the service? No, we have not yet used that rental space from February through April. Therefore, we have not yet incurred an expense. So the answer is no, we do not have an expense. Why? Because we have a prepaid expense. Prepaid expense is not an expense. It is considered an asset. Prepaid expense is not an expense, it's considered an asset. We've paid for future use, but we have not yet used it, okay? We have not yet incurred the expense. All right, next one. C says McGraw-Hill Education, publisher of the textbook, used $3,000 worth of electricity and natural gas in January for which it has not been billed yet. Yes, we do have an expense. Why? Because we've used a service, the natural gas and the electricity, the full amount here, $3,000, okay? D says Pooler Company received and paid in January $1,500 invoice from a consulting firm for services received in January. Again, the key word is received in January. So yes, we've received our services in January. So yes, we record an expense. It's $1.5K, the full amount in January. Next, it says the campus bookstore received consulting services at a cost of $5,000. The terms indicate that payment is due within 30 days of the consultation. Since we've received consultation already, we've already received consultation services, then yes, we do have an expense. And the amount I believe was $5,000. Because we've already received all the consultation services. So yes, we've incurred an expense. The last one states that a company had its delivery van repaired in January for $280 and charged the amount on account. Does it matter, again, just like we considered with the credit card, does it matter that we've charged the repair expense on account? The answer is no. Not when you're considering whether or not an expense has been incurred. It doesn't matter if we paid cash or if we're going to pay them later. The question is, did you incur the expense? And the answer is yes, we did incur an expense. The amount was $280 because it was repaired in January. It does not matter whether or not we paid it, okay? These are revenues, whether or not you've earned the revenue. These are expenses, whether or not you've incurred the expense. And ask yourself those simple questions. For revenues, did you provide the product? Did you provide the service? And for expenses, were you provided a service? Were you provided a product?